Hey everybody, Happy New Year, and I want to thank you for tuning in to Sports in the Making, a new sports podcast coming to you, the sports fan, with a different perspective on sports, taking you behind the scenes on how it's all put together and what goes into making the events that you watch or attend special. I'm your host, Don Cardona, and just a bit about me. I've worked in sports and sports television for more than 25 years in many different capacities. I've been a part of some really cool events over the years, including the Boston Marathon, multiple World Series and All-Star Games, the Super Bowl, and many international events such as the Rugby World Cup, cycling, the Olympic Games in Rio, and many, many more. Throughout my career, I've learned a lot about how sports comes together, not only by preparing for telecasts, but working with some of the best and brightest people in the industry. And it's through my relationships with those that I've worked with is the reason why I want to share what it is they do and how they bring sports to you. Sports is a glamorous industry. Those that work in sports spend the majority of their lives on the road and away from family. They work holidays, nights, weekends, all to help create memories for fans that stay with them for a lifetime. In this podcast, I'll have conversations with many of my friends and colleagues, and also people who have impressed me with what they do. We'll share some personal experiences, anecdotes, and stories, and provide insight into what it is we do in sports and sports television. I'll also have conversations with professionals that have contributed to sports in their own unique way, those who have made an impact in sports or in the broadcast industry. I'll ask things like, what's it like working in a mobile television truck, on the field, or in the front office? What goes into the technical preparation for a Sunday Night Football broadcast? How is sports consumed internationally? What's it like making baseball history as an announcer? And also, how does ESPN manage the hundreds of college basketball games on its networks every year? It's these questions and more that I hope give you a different look at sports and those that put it all together, whether you are a casual fan, a diehard, or even if you work in the industry. Like many sports fans, I was an athlete and played baseball through high school, and I tried to play collegiately, but a shoulder injury kept me off the field, so I turned my attention to finding a way to stay connected to sports. I studied broadcasting at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Telecommunication at Arizona State University. I got my start in sports with the Phoenix Roadrunners, the AAA team for the LA Kings, and did another internship with the Phoenix Firebirds, AAA for the San Francisco Giants, also serving as their professional mascot. While at the Firebirds, I had the opportunity to step into the TV truck broadcasting the games, and that was it for me. I worked as a utility pulling camera cables, I was a phone AD communicating with Master Control, and I worked my way up to camera operator working on many collegiate and professional events in the area. My first job out of college was as a sports reporter anchor for a small station in Grand Junction, Colorado, covering Colorado sports. I produced the first 3 years of the Arizona Diamondbacks broadcast in Spanish for Telemundo. I've been a director for a horse racing network in Los Angeles called TVG. I spent 10 years in Bristol, Connecticut with ESPN, producing Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, boxing, and many other sports in both Spanish and English. And I've covered Olympic sports with Universal Sports Network as senior coordinating producer, as well as NBC Sports as senior producer. And many of the people that I've worked with have some amazing stories and interesting things about what they do. So I'm excited for you to join me on Sports in the Making. Some of my guests may be starting their careers in sports. Others may have been in it for more than 50 years. You may recognize some names and others may be unknown to you, but each of them have a passion for working in this industry. I'll have a wide variety of guests who do many different things in sports. And for the most part, it's about the journey each one of them has made, what they do, and perhaps the impact they've made by sharing their experiences with us and the knowledge at the professional and network level. People working in sports are a family away from home, and they have many interesting stories to tell. And I hope that this podcast gives you a different look and appreciation for what goes into making sports. My first episode starts on January 9th and will be released every Thursday. So I invite you to subscribe now to Sports in the Making. And if you like any of the episodes, please like and share on your social media channels. I'd also love to get your comments and your reviews. And if you have any suggestions on who you might want to hear from, please drop me a line at sportsinthemaking.com. I appreciate your time in joining me on the Sports in the Making podcast.